Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Mythgard in Middle-earth with the Tolkien professor, Corey Olsen. Good afternoon. Happy to be with you again today. We last left Gryfflet having just arrived at Esteldin, which I am excited to talk about. As we can see, there's a great deal of architecture here, so I just wanted to wave hello to everybody, and we are ready to go. So, as I said, we arrived in Esteldin, which I kind of want to do again. I had so much fun arriving. I want to arrive again. This is Esteldin is a wonderful example of the kind of extrapolation that I think Lotro often does really, really well. There is, of course, absolutely nothing like any kind of direct evidence that anything like Esteldin exists, and yet it is exactly the kind of thing that should exist, that kind of must exist. We know there are other Dunedain other than Aragorn. We know that there was a center of some kind. There has to be some kind of, it would make sense given all of the Arnorian ruins we see all over, and that should exist all over, given the kind of kingdom that it was, that the Dunedain, it makes perfect sense that the Dunedain would have adopted one of the ruins as a strong point, because they would want a strong point, right? You can say, oh well, the Rangers are always moving around, so maybe they just have a camp, right? Maybe the chieftain of the Dunedain just kind of ran things from a camp. I think that they're way too conscious of the significance of their family lines. Remember, we're talking about a lineage which goes all the way back to Elendil, unbroken father to son, right? So, they're not going to just be like, oh, whatever, let's just camp in the open, right? It'll be fun. They have to have a strong place. That would have required even more luck than normal to have made that happen. So anyhow, the idea that such a place would exist makes perfect sense. Seems this close to a necessity, a sort of a narrative necessity in my mind. I love the name of it, Esteldin, of course, right? This is the place of hope, right? Estel, which means hope, which is of course the name that Aragorn was raised under in Rivendell. So, we have this city, but of course it also would have to be a secret city, because although this may be a strong point so that they could defend it even in its comparatively ruinous state, though of course, as we see, the walls of Esteldin are still in pretty good shape, but nevertheless it's a place which certainly could be defended, but nevertheless they're not going to want to just openly declare themselves. They're going to be secret. And because we know that to be an important element of the sort of the Dunedain whole system. So, all right. So here we have what was clearly a great keep of Arnor in times past. Now, one thing, thinking about what we have noticed before about Arnorian ruins in the North Downs compared to the ones that we've seen both in Breelands and in the Lone Lands. And we were noticing these, of course, in this particular patterns, right? The pattern of the arches up here in the clear story, and then these sort of arcades with this particular sort of multi-column here. We've seen this. We saw that in several places in Fornost, in the ruins around Fornost, especially in the place where the ghost with the fancy hat that I fought last time, in the great epic fancy hat duel of last week. Anyway, she was living she had set up shop in an Arnorian ruin, and we saw this kind of column structure around a lot. But of course, what things do we notice here? The architecture is not the same as in Breeland, right? It's Arnorian architecture, clearly, but it's not the same architecture that we saw around Bree. And what we saw around Bree was much more similar to what we saw in the Lone Lands, and even out in the Rudaran lands, than this that we see here. So how could we explain that? Well, I can think of two reasons why we could explain it. I have two theories. for how we can fit this into the narrative of the history of Arnor. Theory number one, that I forgot theory number one already. Okay, no. Theory number one is that this is specifically Arthedainian construction. Okay, wait, no. That's theory number two. I'm getting my own theories completely mixed up. Theory number one is that this is older, right? Because it's simpler. It doesn't. You'll notice that it doesn't have. It looks somewhat cruder. That is it, and it's not nearly as fancy. It doesn't have, remember the stars that were so prominent in the architecture around Bree, or the crown forest thing, the symbol of Rudaur that was so prevalent out in Garthagarwin. Instead, we have nothing. It's very plain, right? We have these. Look at the keystones of the arches. Nothing, right? It's just plain, right? We just have stone and arches and nothing else, like pretty much as far as the eye can see around here, right? Look at this whole place, just arches, plain walls, and that's it, right? So it's much simpler. So you could say maybe this is older architecture, right? Maybe the later was a further development. It's kind of interesting. I mean, this is further north, right? So I mean, if we get all mappish here, right? This is and let's go out one level here to the big map. Up here in the North Downs and Evendim, this is the heart of old Arnor, right? The North Kingdom of Elendil. He built his city here in Evendim at Enuminus. And, the realm extended here. The North Downs were kind of like the center of that. Remember, Weathertop is the sort of dividing place. Up over here is where Rudaur was, and then down here is where Cardolan was, and then up here is where Arthedain was eventually. So so you could say maybe this is older, and the stuff that was down, the stuff down in Brioland and the Lowlands was the southern extension. As the Kingdom of Arnor became greater, their works became more impressive, and therefore that's why we see fancier architecture. Okay, that's further out than I need. Fancier architecture down in the south than we see up in the north. That's theory number one. And that theory kind of works. But I'm not a huge fan of that particular architecture narrative theory. Here's theory number two, which I had already mentioned before, is the one that I really favor. And that is that this is Arthedainian architecture in specific. That is, why would I favor that, and why would that explain it? After the division into the three kingdoms, the people of Arthedain are the people who retain they're the ones who sort of stick with the line of Elendil, right? They're the ones who don't separate out. They are, in a sense, the true heirs of the Kingdom of Arnor. I like the idea. So here's my theory. My theory is the people of Arthedain were more conscious of where they came from and therefore more humble. That is, they saw the Kingdom of Arthedain not as we are the great and glorious Kingdom of Arthedain, but as a fallen kingdom. Right? We are the poor remnant of the great North Kingdom that was. Right? We are lesser children of greater sires. Right? And so that humility is reflected. They don't. The Star of Numenor doesn't appear anymore because they're like, the Star of Numenor is broken. Right? We've divided into three kingdoms. This is we can no longer really claim to be. Yes, we are the heirs of Numenor. Yes, the line of Elendil are still our kings. But we can't really lay claim to that, to claim to be the Numenorians. And so when they built this place, which of course is kind of on the outskirts, I mean, it might be the sort of the realm of the Dunedain, the core of the Dunedain realm now, but it's not. It certainly wasn't back then. Fornost was the capital, right up over here, of Arthedain. And of course, Enuminus is way over here, down in Evendim. So this was only an outpost anyway, and quite likely a sort of a more modern outpost, one that could have been built after the establishment of Fornost as the capital. Fornost was the sort of the military center up here in the North Downs. When Fornost became the capital, they would have wanted an eastern sort of outpost. A place to guard the pass through the mountains here, which is basically what Esteldin does. I love the fact that you actually can use this as essentially a shortcut through to get over here to Nan Amlog East, and those those different realms. So so this is clearly an important spot, but especially important for the Kingdom of Arthedain once it had really established itself up here in the North Downs primarily. So that's my theory. We'll see. Let's see what we see in the North Downs. Here's the particularly interesting point. We didn't make it up into the ruins of Fornost. I'm hoping to go up there a little bit later on. We didn't make it into the ruins of Fornost. That is, we were down in the fields of Fornost, but didn't get up to the city itself. And when we go up to the city of Fornost, I want to look at the architecture there at Fornost and within Fornost and see what we see, right? Because that will be really interesting. So, okay, so here we have the city of the Rangers, the home base of the Rangers, which is not only fortified but also very secret. Okay, all right, so this is very good. Oh, look at this. Look what we see. Look, it's the stars, right? Not only the Númenórean star, but the star that's surrounded by 5 stars, right? Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So we do see, but notice it's almost hidden. What's that? What's up there? I wonder. Can we see? Is there a carving up there? Doesn't that look like a carving? Yes, it is. It's somebody holding a palantir. Maybe, right? There's his head and there's his arm. Right? So maybe an Arnorian king holding a palantir. Can I get up there? Hang on. This is urgent. I've got a sculpture to look at. All right. Let's see. I know I can get up a little bit. Let's see if I can get up further. Oh, look! And the crafting hall has a star above it. Okay. So we see we have a few decorations, which again, this is fitting. You wouldn't expect them to utterly forsake and abandon their Númenórean roots. They're just not being as fancy. But see, another rather dull, clear story. I can't jump up there, can I? No. Darn it. I was kind of hoping I could walk up on that ledge and get around to the front. Oh well. Can't do it. Oh well. I tried. Hi, Hunter Trainer. Can you give me a boost? Okay, oh well. I'm trying to climb up on something so I can see. Oh well. Yeah. No, it's just not working. Oh well. Okay. All right, I'll get over it. So this is the main council hall, which I can't get into, so it's really interesting that we would have the stars above the door here. Though again, doesn't look like they're... Is this like a newer construction? Did they build this thing above the... Well, I mean, it looks like it's a little perplexing there. I don't know. But anyway, let's go and find my quest map. Tells me that the person I'm looking for in more ways than one is in here. And that is Halbarad. That is, not only do I have a quest to find Halbarad, but I mean, Halbarad, it's another Lord of the Rings character, right? How exciting! Okay, hang on. Hold that thought, Halbarad. You've got banners. What are your banners over here? I'm a little disappointed. That doesn't look like heraldry. That looks like a knitting pattern. I mean, like an embroidery pattern. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. Can't really make it out. We've got a nice little reading table over here. Okay, right. Okay. You're caught unawares. Yeah, I know. Hang on. We got a tapestry. Kind of hard to make anything of that tapestry. Okay, well, I'm a little underwhelmed by your decorations, Halbarad, right? Would have expected a little bit more, but hi! Great to meet you, Halbarad. You are great, and I won't mention your unfortunate fate in The Lord of the Rings, but that's okay. I have still always admired you, Halbarad. Halbarad, of course, in The Lord of the Rings serves as like the representative of the non-Aragorn Dunedain, right? You know, we know that there are other rangers, but we never actually meet any until Halbarad and the boys show up down in Rohan at the beginning of the Return of the King, and of them, Halbarad is the only one whose name we learn. Right, he's kind of the stand-in for the group really. So Halbarad is like the poster child of the non-Aragorn Dunedain. So it's fun to see him up here in Esteldin. There's a book that I should look at over here of Arthedain and its settlements. Okay, right. Stamped across the front is the title of Arthedain and its settlements. I mean, and seriously, does that sound like a gripping read or what? Right? I mean, that sounds like something you'd want at the beach, right? Of Arthedain and its settlements. It's the of Beleriand and its realms of the Third Age. In fact, I wonder if the title is a joke. But anyway, the book's cover is worn as if many hands have held it. Yeah, because man, like this gets taken out of the library more than any other book. Everyone's like, "Oh man, are you done with Of Arthedain and its settlements?" Right? I've been looking forward to that. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Right, so it opens easily to a dog-eared page, is everybody's favorite page of Arthedain and its settlements. I'm loving this. In those days, northeastern Arthedain was dominated by 5 great settlements. Wow, this is as good as I thought it would be. Known commonly as the 5 towns. These were Henethrun, south of Fornost, Duintham, astride an ancient stream, Carnoglin in the northern hills, Arduin, Ardulin. Right, yes. Ardulin in the Lakelands, and Dolindir. Yes, Dolindir, now called Esteldin. So see, they changed the name to Esteldin. So it wasn't originally Esteldin. It was the Rangers, not the people of Arthedain originally, who named it that. Like the King of Arthedain didn't name it Esteldin. The Rangers did after the fact, probably when they adopted it as their base and their secret home. Amongst the Rangers of the North Downs, we encourage our people to visit all 5 of the towns and discover the locations of their founding stones. It is important to remember who we are. Wow. That is awesome. What a great read that book is. I can see why so many people have been interested in that. Okay, Halbarad. Time to begin Book 3, finally. Word has spread about the help you have given the Rangers to the south. Well, I'm so honored that you've heard of me, Halbarad. Here in the Northern Lands, I am here to help you, Halbarad, like anything. While the eyes of Esteldin have been turned to the east, news from the west and south tells me that the enemy is moving on many fronts. Yeah, it totally is. Like, absolutely. North, south, man. We got half-orcs coming up from the south and wargs in Budgeford. It's a mess, man. Okay, alone you cannot face this greater threat, but with the help of a hobbit burglar, you can. So it's your lucky day. A council of the free peoples of the North Downs must be called. That sounds like a good idea. Yet before I do so, I need more knowledge of this threat. I could tell you really a lot, because I've seen a lot of things. I need to know if Fornost, once the capital of Arnor of old, has fallen under the sway of Angmar once more. I'm going with yes. There were lots of ghosts, and it looked pretty bad. I got to tell you, I didn't actually go into the capital, it's true. I didn't make it all the way up, but I was totally, I am pretty suspicious, I got to tell you, Halbarad. But anyway, it's fine. Don't take my word for it. If the enemy has taken and fortified the ruins of Fornost, we are in the gravest of dangers. Oh dear. Gravest. I see what you did there, Halbarad. That's pretty funny. Travel to Mincham, a ranger who camps on the fields of Fornost, and ask for his aid. I know Mincham. He and I are like this. I mean, he sat there and did nothing while I did a lot of his work. So he and I are like best friends right now. So fine, I'll go chat with Mincham again. I'm good with that. The darkness within. Word has come to me from our scouts outside the gates of Fornost that powerful wraiths have been seen within the city. Yeah, okay. That's not surprising, given the number of wraiths seen outside the city. I do not doubt the words of my men, and if these spirits are indeed who I believe them to be, there is a greater evil there than that we have not yet perceived. I kind of lost track of that sentence, Halbarad, but there's a big evil involved if there are powerful wraiths. I'm generally tracking with you, nevertheless. These wraiths must be the spirits of the 4 traitors that aided Angmar in the downfall of the King's Norbury. Ooh, there's a story of the downfall of King's Norbury? I can't wait. In the last stand against the enemy, I mean, I know the Witch King sacked it and stuff, but in the last stand against the enemy, a great treachery occurred, and the gates of the city were thrown down. So Fornost was not overtaken from without, but betrayed from within. Oh, man. Legend tells that the men were bewitched by the Witch King's champion, a woman named Amarthiel. Really? If these wraiths are indeed these men, they must be dealt with. Okay, so the 4 traitors who were bewitched by Amarthiel, the champion of the Witch King. That's interesting. So he had a champion, the Witch King did, whose name was who was A, female, and B, named Amarthiel. Okay, that's fascinating. And she was the one who convinced these 4 traitors to open the gates of Fornost from within. Okay, all right. I'll visit, what's her name? Istuien, right? And learn who's learned in these matters. Okay, right. All right, she can assist me. Excellent. Looking forward to that, Halbarad. Thank you, Halbarad. I'll go chat with people. Don't move. I'll be right back. You stay right here and carry on keeping your vigilant guard in the library. And make sure that there are no fistfights of Arthedain and its settlements, because I know that requires constant vigilance. All right. Istuien. Let's talk about Amarthiel.
Make your request with haste.
Yeah. You transcribed an ancient text written by the elf Lyrdon. Okay, well, he sounds like an expert. Alas that Lyrdon is no longer with us, oh dear. For he left many years ago with Golodir, and no word has returned of them. Oh, okay. He was a great lore master and had long studied Fornost and Amarthiel. All right, maybe we'll learn about him more later on. Before its downfall, Amarthiel had entered Fornost under a false guise. She appeared as a great smith, offering her skills against the works of the enemy. Her words and counsel were heeded by many. So she came pretending to be an ally and said, I can help you make objects of power that... Wow. All right. That sounds like a kind of familiar story. But that itself, of course, seems like sort of a fun Tolkien point, right? You see the parallel, right? Just like Sauron came to Eregion and helped them make the Rings of Power and was like, hi, I am Anatar, the giver of gifts, and I have lots of good stuff for you and will help you become super powerful and learn lots of awesome things. And Celebrimbor and the other of the, the elves of the jewel rights were like, that sounds great. We will believe you implicitly. So notice, so we see the parallel, but again, it's a parallel which works, and not only is Tolkien full of that kind of parallel, sort of the retelling of the same story in a different context, but also on a different scale. It has that kind of typological structure that's so common within Tolkien. Just as, Morgoth Melkor falls and becomes Morgoth, so Sauron falls and becomes Sauron, right? He's the parallel to the Dark Lord that was, but sort of lesser scale. Saruman, again, becomes, or sort of wants to be a sort of a slighter, a more slightly diminished scale. Anyway, so we see that kind of thing happening a lot. And they seem to have done that here. So just as the giver of gifts came to Eregion, so Amarthiel, in disguise, comes to Fornost and offers them service and tempts them. That's actually kind of cool. And of course, she's a smith, so that also again puts her in a direct parallel to Sauron himself. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so the 4 captains were enthralled and taken into her service when the Witch King's horde pressed in its final assault on Fornost, despite the valiant defense of the troop of hobbit archers that was sent up to that battle, of course. But anyway, I digress. These men and their followers overthrew the door wardens and opened the gates. One account has been preserved from those who escaped. The ancient text of Lyrdon gives the account of the last of the king's rear guard to leave the city. Oh, cool. The text, because remember, this is when Arvedui left and went north. That's how he ended up in the Losoth and with the Losoth and then in the bay. Okay, right. Let's see. Okay, the text claims the 4 men captive to Amarthiel's will swore an oath to her upon Morgul blades, pledging their unending service, and then threw themselves upon the swords. Really? How gruesome. If the Wraiths have returned to fulfill their oath, Halbarad is right to fear. I would ask you to gather companions and seek the Wraiths in the ruins of Fornost. I can probably do that by myself, right? It wouldn't be that big a deal. I'm kidding. I know I can't. I tried that the first time I did this. I'm like, I can totally solo that. Turns out I couldn't. If you can, recover the hilts of the Morgul blades. All right. Okay. I am sure that they would still possess them. Pronouns. So I am sure that the Wraiths would still possess them, not the Hilts would still... Okay, right. Especially with Raith and possess. Okay, no, all right. I'm sure the Wraiths would still possess the Hilts and guard them fiercely. If the account is true, then the Blade Hilts bind these Wraiths to Middle-earth, and their destruction may bring about an end to their evil. And the Hilts' destruction may bring about an end to the Wraiths' evil. I'm trying to track Istuiana with your pronouns here. Okay, you need some pronoun assistance, but I'm with you. I'm totally tracking with you. That sounds good. So the Morgul Hilts are what bind them in the unholy vow they took in service to Amarthiel. That sounds like something that I should take care of forthwith, Istuin. And I read this thriller in the library up there about Arthedain and its settlements, and I must know more. Okay. So I found that old journal. What, you're just speaking slightingly of the most compelling book in the... It is not customary for those not of the Rangers to do so. You grudge me taking out the book? But if you wish to know more about my kindred, you may want to undertake the journey yourself. Well, maybe I will and maybe I won't, miss. Don't want to share the most exciting book in the library. Admit it, you had it on reserve yourself, and you think I got in front of you, didn't you? The first of the settlements mentioned in the book was called Dolindir. Today we call it Esteldin. I know where to find that one. Return to me after I found the founding... Oh, okay. It was right over there. I just saw it. This is easy. Okay, but no problem. We'll go find the founding stone. Okay, no problem. Looking for the founding stone, which has hard to find, what with the founding stone words floating above it. It's a well-kept monument, right? Good. Here once stood the town and founding stone of Dolindir, in the kingdom of Arthedain, which has passed. In this place was established the refuge of Esteldin by Arasuil, son of Arahad, that these lands might never again stand unwatched. Yes, in the line of the chieftains of the Dunedain rather than the kings of Arnor and Arthedain. Okay, well, that was as easy as I expected. Hi, Kriana, thank you for all of your help. I don't seem to be needing quite as much protection as the ruins of Esteldin have not threatened to attack me yet, but we'll see. I may end up treading more dangerous roads before the end of the day today. Okay, I found it. It's right over there.
What do you want of me? Okay.
I love the stock things that the NPCs say when you click on them, right? So I just clicked on her. She just sent me, I'm just coming back, and she says, "What do you want of me?" Boy, man, I'm really sorry. You're really eager to go off and get that book. I get it. Okay, yes, I've chosen to begin the journey. Very well, then. Are you grudging? Boy, I'm not sure you and I are going to see eye to eye, Istuian. The book speaks of 5 towns, which were Henethrun. Yeah, okay, I totally read these before. Duantham, astride an ancient stream, right. Carnarglin in the northern hills, right. Ost Ardulin in the lakelands, and Dolindir, now called Esteldin, right, okay. I must seek the other 4. All right, that's cool. I'll seek the other. I'll see how many of the others I find here as I rove around. Goodness knows I'm into ruin exploring, so that seems fine. All right. Well, I'm not going to go to Fornost and try to get those hilts right away, because I know that it would be biting off a lot right now, so I'm not going to do that. But we should let's go talk to Mincham, I should say. All right, and I think we can find a founding stone along the way. All right. Okay, quick lore question as we're writing. Karita Alexander asks, what happens to the spirits of Balrogs when they are killed? And a related question, can the Ainur be injured or killed? That is an excellent question because, of course, the Ainur are not incarnated into bodies in the same way that... well, we have sort of three categories of creatures that appear in physical bodies in Tolkien's works. And I'm not counting beasts, so I guess 4 if you count beasts. But okay, so fine, 4. 1 is beasts. 2 are the children of Iluvatar, the incarnate races, who have a spirit, their Fea, which is bound to their bodies, their Hroa, incarnate within those bodies and connected to those bodies. Then you have the Ainur, the Maiar, and the Valar, who don't have Hroa. They don't have bodies of their own. They can manifest bodies. They can make bodies appear. You can see them and you can physically interact with them. Just ask Thingol about physically interacting with the bodies of Maiar. Right? I'm thinking, of course, of Melian, and the two of them had a daughter. So clearly, physical interaction, perfectly possible. So they can obviously manifest bodies, and those bodies can function in physical ways, but they're not tied. The bodies are not a part of them. They're just a manifestation of their spirits. And therefore, they're totally different in that way. The relationship between spirit and body, totally different from the incarnate races, from elves and men. The fourth category are the wizards. The wizards are they're Maya on the one hand, but the body, like Gandalf's body, is not like the bodies merely manifested by other Maya or Valar when they're in the world. So, like if you take Melian, right, the mother of Luthien, her body, her manifestation, her physical manifestation is fundamentally different from Gandalf's or Saruman's. Tolkien makes a big deal about the fact that the wizards are actually incarnated into bodies when they come. So when they came over from Valinor to Middle-earth, they were signing up for something different. This is not just, hey, could you pop over to Middle-earth and see what's going on there, right? Why don't you put yourself in a body while you're over there, right? That's normally how the Maiar and the Valar behave and act. That's not how the wizards were set up. So, anyway, so I think that this is a fairly important thing when we're trying to answer the question. Look! Did I already notice this as I rode by? Or was I in too much of a hurry? Look! It's the Rudaran forest blood crown thing. Right here on this old courtyard. Where are we? We're here, huh? Wow. That's surprising. This is pretty far north for a Rudaran thing. Color me surprised. Anyway, sorry. So, therefore, we have the question of what happens when any of them die. This is why Gandalf, when he dies, genuinely dies, and when he is sent back, he has to be literally reincarnated, that is, incarnated again, or, his body has to be resurrected, is what it sounds like, actually. I mean, he's not reincarnated. He's not incarnated again. He is physically resurrected. The body in which he had been incarnated is restored to life. That seems to be what he describes. Whereas Saruman, when Saruman died, hang on, I got a stable master to chat with. I always make it a point to chat to stable masters because you never know when you'll want to have the acquaintance of a stable master. Lost my train of thought. Saruman's death, right? So when Saruman is killed by Wormtongue, we see his body collapse and his spirit depart from it, right? Like he was incarnate, because he is. That's the body he was incarnated in. That body is now dead. The spirit of Saruman comes up out of the body and it turns to the west like it wants to go back to Valinor. But then the wind from the west comes and blows it away and it can't return, right? Saruman's death, though, is relative. So one thing that we can clearly see, Karita, he is an Ainur. He was incarnated as a wizard in a body, but he remains a Maya. So his body his spirit remains, and it seems to remain within the world, but it's banished from Valinor, which shows us that when Maya die, their spirits don't seem to depart from the world. Therefore, what about Balrogs? Now we interrupt this little lore discussion to look at Amon Raith, which is this. Here, I'm supposed to go up and talk to this guy, and I want to see his architecture anyway. Yeah, can you give me some experience just for showing up? Thank you. Wow, 1,000. How generous. Okay, look at this. Look what we see. This, unlike that fortress out, which was taken over by the female ghost with the fancy hat, and like Esteldin, those are both that sort of much plainer architecture that we were looking at. This looks just like the Briwens and the Lone Land, right? With the fancy carvings and the star set underneath the arch, right? And we've got the whole star within star thing going on here on that platform, and here on this floor of what clearly was this tower, right? So there would seem to be an age difference, and the question is this older or is it newer than Esteldin? And again, I still, although one is tempted to say the planar architecture must be newer, I think the evidence is, the evidence, I say, listen to me. Not that there's very clear evidence, but I think that what evidence that there is suggests the contrary. That this is in fact the older, and the other is the newer. Look, we've got the 7 stars, right, of Numenor right there on the capitals, right? That's pretty cool. There's Fornost. There's where the fortress of Fornost was, right? Okay, so but why would Amon Raith here? Why would Amon Raith be older than Esteldin? Well, I mean, look geographically where we are. This is obviously an excellent lookout position, right? It's on this hill. That's a good fortress place, but this is a really good watchtower spot that would command a view of the entire valley of Fornost in front of the outpost there. So it makes excellent sense that the old Arnorian kings would have built a watchtower up here. So older. I'm still going to go with older, and Esteldin being a more. Oh, that's just rocks, right? Yeah. Okay. No architecture there at all. Just rocks. Just rocks. I don't really want to get attacked by a wolf, but here's another ruin over here. Let me just check. What do we have? It looks... Yep. Old. But Rudarin. Yeah, see, there's the Rudarin symbol, which clearly goes with that because it's right up over the hill there. So we're meant to believe that this was a Rudarin fortress? I mean, here? I don't know, man. Takes a lot of believing, I gotta tell you. Oops. Just rode right through that Cribine who's now chasing me. No problem. Alright. Yeah, I'm about to run right into the river if I'm not careful. I'm just going to collect Cribine chasing after me. Excuse me. Wandering Cruel Beak. Oh, he is wandering pretty far if he was a Combine anyhow. So, okay, I'm going to go back now to my friend Mincham and finish my thought about the Ainur. So, back to the death of Balrogs, Karita, which is the question you asked originally. When Balrogs are killed, what that means is a little bit unclear, because, again, we're not talking about the spirit of the Balrog incarnated within a body and the body dies and the spirit goes away. Balrogs are in the category of their body is a physical manifestation of themselves. So what it means to kill a Balrog is therefore different. But on the other hand, of course, Balrogs have a pretty strong history of dying by plummeting to their deaths. So it does suggest that a sort of a more purely physical means can be used to kill the Balrog. So it's a little bit unclear. I mean, in some sense, of course, the spirit was banished. In Lotro, of course, as we saw during the during my first Where's Wigand episode in our fundraiser a couple weeks ago, when Wigand went to the slopes of Zirexigil and found the corpse of the Balrog, I'm not sure the Balrog would leave a corpse, because that suggests that, I mean, it's cool. I mean, I like the Balrog corpse in the game. It's pretty awesome. But at the same time, I don't... I'm not sure that that's actually accurate, that the body of the Balrog would remain there. The place where it broke the mountainside, where it smote it in its ruin, would presumably remain. But I kind of doubt that the corpse would remain, because again, it implies the corpse and the spirit which has departed are separate, and they're not really. So they can be destroyed. And I don't know what that means. Does it mean a spirit was banished to the void, to where its master Morgoth is hanging out? I'm not really sure. I don't really know. So I don't have a very satisfying answer to this question, because I don't really know exactly what it means. We're not really given that much information. Thank you, Gryfflet. I will never forget the service you've done me in the memory of my wife. I did service for the memory of your wife. Now, I've heard rumors from old-timers that there used to be quests relating to Mincham and his family, and I suspect that little piece of dialogue is connected with those. I miss the story of Mincham and his family. Well, I miss them in the sense that I missed them. I've never experienced them. Hey, if you revise the North Downs again, Turbine folks, bring back the story of Mincham's family. I mean, why not? Anyway, sorry. The enemy retaking Fornost of old? From what I have seen here, I believe it most likely. You know, Mincham, I told Halbarad that, but no, he wants to hear it from you, so fine. I've seen the specters of the Oathbreakers stir and fell spirits from Angmar take shape upon the fields. Yeah, gosh. Yeah, wow, that's shocking news to me. The orcs I've also seen orcs spilling out from the gates of Fornost. So yes, the enemy has indeed taken Fornost. Well, I agree. You know, Oathbreakers, fell spirits, orcs. I too was getting a sort of a hint that this had pretty much happened. What cannot be told is the strength of the enemy within the ruined city, and for that I shall need your help. Okay.
Would you stay a moment and learn
all right.
our troubles?
You can't tell me the strength of the forces of Angmar, right? You didn't see them approach. Dude, you're guarding the only entrance into the... Okay, the southern entrance into the valley. You can get to it from Evendim too. How did you not see them come in? I mean, come on, Mincham. I'm disappointed, right? So we had one illiterate ranger, and now we have one myopic ranger, apparently. That's the problem, right? It's actually not that dim here, Mincham. It's just that your eyes are not so good. Now we needed a correspondence course for Kendaith. Now we need eyeglasses for Mincham. It's all pretty clear. I'm making a long list of notes to present to Aragorn of how he can really improve his system up here in the north. But anyway, sorry. Okay, I fear the only way to know the true strength of the enemy within Fornost is to test the defenses erected at its gates by the orcs. And what better way to test those defenses than by sending a solo hobbit burglar against them? That will really tell you whether those defenses are prepared to stand up or not. You would do this myself, but you have a gammy leg. I understand. If I am willing, go to the Norbury gates north of here and slay what orcs and wargs you find. That's blunt? Fine. Okay, I'm going to go test the defenses by going and slaughtering people. Okay. Let's do this. Back across spooky fields of Fornost. I'm probably out of Mincham's sight already. He can't see me from here, clearly. He really should have built like a little lean-to right on the road. But anyway, this gives me the opportunity to do what I really wanted, which is follow the Greenway all the way to its northernmost end. I'm getting... Nah. Well, okay, I'll accept it just in case I find him, but I'm not going to go looking for Blood Eye, who frankly sounds like he has a contagious condition. I don't really... If I see Blood Eye, I'm running the other way, not because I think he's going to eat me, but I don't want to catch whatever he has. That sounds seriously unsanitary. Okay, so... very good. Here... Oh, this is the road. This is right the road that heads off to Evendim. So this is the road to Anuminous. Does the signpost say Anuminous? What's the signpost say? How do I get the signpost to say something? I can't like click on it. No. Left click. No. What? What? Do I double click? No. Do I just mouse over it? Okay. Ostfarad, right, yeah, and Evendim. Oh, that's disappointing. It should say Anuminous. Well, admittedly, this does not really look like an ancient signpost, in which case, are we to believe that the rangers, the secretive, clandestine rangers, erected a signpost? Our outpost is this way, as long as this doesn't say Esteldin. Trestlebridge, okay. Yeah. This side should have another one over this way that says secret outpost, that way, right? Yeah. Okay, at least they didn't go that far. Well, fine. All right. So we're going up the Greenway. We're going to find the end of the Greenway. I am super excited. Another signpost. Those rangers were super thoughtful. What does this one say? Trestlebridge. This way to Trestlebridge, this way to Fornost. Okay, thank you. Wouldn't have guessed. Lots of bears up here, though. Okay, we got bears. What else do we have? We have... Oh, no. A sickly rabbit? Are you kidding me? And there's a warg over there. Okay, rabbit, don't get... Well, actually, I guess it depends on how sick you are. Oh, sorry to see that. Even the rabbits are sick up here in Fornost. This land is diseased. Even the rabbits which inhabit it are diseased. That is so sad. But okay. Here, we're getting closer. Oh, this looks like orc construction. Oh, yes. Big pointy sticks lashed together. I'd recognize that. What is that about? What is this? Why did they bother to do this? Is this a scaffold? Is that what this is? Right? Are we supposed to, like, impale people on this or something? What is the function of this structure? It's not a gate post because there isn't one over here. Besides, why would you make a gate? There isn't a wall. That is seriously weird. And there's another one over here. And it's... Oh, hang on. Okay, Mr. Oh, wait. Gotta ninjafy myself. Okay, Mr. Warg Stalker. Who is stalking whom, I would like to know. Okay. I thought not. Alright. Those are really... And they're all the same. I mean, symmetrically speaking. Okay, is it... Do these count? No, I need blog mall orcs. No. Wait. Yes? What? They count? Oh, this guy counts anyway. Oh, boy. You guys just wandered into my field of vision while I was doing some anthropology on your friends over there. Oh, there's another guy over there. Okay, and this warg stalker. You didn't really stalk me exactly, but okay, hang on. Let's show you how this is done. Mr. Ongbur's warrior. Oh, and you detected me just out of spite, didn't you? That was really inconsiderate. Okay, Mr. Ongbur's warrior. And a ravager. Why is the archer called a ravager? Hi, do you ravage? I'm going to stun you. Because I can. Okay. How are we doing with our... I don't even want to know how I'm keeping track. I hope I'm not taking trophies. Oh yeah, Warg Slayer. Very good. Warg Foe. That's a kind of lukewarm title. I don't know. Oh, look, I am keeping trophies. Cutting the skins off people. Harvesting their hides. Excellent. Yeah, that's a... Oh, man. Didn't get a chance to get any closer. Okay, I don't really need stealth. Okay, so these are the gates of King's Norbury. The outer gates of Fornost. Now that I've killed all these orcs around here, let me go back to the Greenway. And look up. Okay. Oh, would you just look at that. Yep, I think we've put this particular mystery to bed. Look at that. Look at that. So, see how you've got the clear story, but look how much cleaner the lines are, right? How much less crude. This wall looks much more like the walls down in Bree. And you've got the stars, right? Oh, yeah, and the keystone and the 7 stars on the capitals here, and then of course you've got this really insulting, like orcish thing. What are those scorpions? The heck is that? It's a horse, dragon, beaver. What is that thing? Dragon. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go dragon. Maybe wolf, because that looks like a claw, not a tail. Is this a tail? Tattoo, maybe. A little hard to tell. Kangaroo. Maybe it's a kangaroo. A really violent. And a skull. A decorative horned skull. And a rope. And it's painted apparently in blood with some interesting designs. And notice they're making no attempt at fortification here. They're just being insulting by erecting this thing in front of the gates, because here they have one. Now this at least look like they could serve as real gateposts, right? That's something. Okay, hang on. I gotta go see if I can successfully sneak up on any of these dudes. Oh yeah. Oh, he saw me right before I could pick his pocket. I haven't picked anybody's pocket in a while. I've been insufficiently burglarious of late. Oh, it's a warg. Couldn't pick the warg's pocket anyhow. Ooh, treasure. Look at this wagon. It's a really impressive wagon. What do they have drawing this wagon? I mean, the wargs didn't do it, obviously. They have oxen? What, did they have oxen to draw this wagon here and then killed it? Did they harness themselves to it? Like, and what is this? What is that thing? It's a spiky thing with spikes and... Sorry, I'm admiring your siege weaponry, if indeed it's siege weaponry, because I can't think of anything else that it could be, or what you could do with that big spiky wheeled conveyance, which looks like a sort of a large traveling meat tenderizer, really. Okay. Now, because it's not a projectile weapon. Can I climb up? No. What are these wheels on top? What do you do? First, you lure the enemy to walk up like this, and then the top snaps down. Okay, it's a ramp. Right. Okay, so this is a ramp. You're supposed to walk up here, and then this forms a bridge to the top of the wall, and you go up. And you're gonna. So why are there? What are these? These are chains to do something. So it's like a siege tower, except different and intimidatingly spiky. Okay. How fascinating. Inefficient. Exposed. Slightly useless, but fascinating. Really kind of ingenious, except for the genius. part. Okay. We're assessing the strength. Because I'm doing my job, right? Mincham said, figure out the enemy's strength. And I've got to... So this doesn't mean I just go around and kill folks. This means I've got to figure out what they're capable of, right? They've got the shield with the eye, right? The shield with the eye. And they've got shields on the side of... Excuse me, I'm getting caught in the spikes. Just kind of vague designs. No painted eyes or anything. And so they've got a strange kind of siege tower. They've got this little meat wagon over here. Is that a war chariot? So, hey, Warg, do you get, like, hooked up over here? Do they hook you up to this? And then they get on the back, and they're like, yeah! Yeah, right, yeah, you go up there, Warg. You go up there, and, yeah, do it. No! Yeah, you're supposed to be up there, but I'm supposed to... I was going to hit you up. Fine. Look, you're just not helping. Okay, I'm trying to reconstruct. Do they put horses? Probably horses, right? Because that warg is really too small. And, of course, at this point, too dead. But what do you fit in that little square thing? It's... Well, okay, anyway, so maybe wargs we hitch up on along the sides. Yeah, not in between the traces, presumably, but over here on the sides. And this is like a spiky war chariot, except it's not a chariot because it has 4 wheels. So it's a spiky war wagon. That's what it is. The wagon of war. So we've got a war wagon and an inefficient siege ramp on wheels and another war wagon and a big old armored wagon which could hold something very securely inside the big thick wagon of war. On the whole, I think this is a pretty scary... Yeah, I think I shall have to send back my report that they're really capable of a quite number of remarkable... I don't have enough room. What, are his pockets too small? Is that the problem? I can't pick his pocket because I don't have enough room? Maybe he's not wearing enough. And they just didn't want to mention, that it was as awkward as that. I mean, it is a little bit true. Like, picking the pocket of a dude in a loincloth is just a little, well, I was going to say cheeky, but I probably shouldn't. So, okay, that's... I'm good. We're done. We're done. I've slaughtered enough people. I've assessed the military capability. I probably have far more information than Mincham frankly wants. So that's fine. But while I'm up here, I mean, I should go into Fornost, right? I mean, I can't get... Whoa, go past Mr. Guy who's out walking his warg. Okay. There we go. Going in through the gates here into the first court. All right, what do we see? Oh, yeah, look at that nice Numenorian star. Okay, so they got a recapitulation of those things. So these are the outer gates, right? And then, of course, we have these other fortified... Oh, this whole thing is like an extra wall. And then the second inner wall. Right, we've got the clear story, but... And the columns, but again, it looks newer, but it doesn't look exactly like Bree. It's not the same kind of stone. Though, I mean, of course, presumably that would vary by where you're building, right? And what stone was available. Okay, and we've put up this pathetic wooden palisade. Boy, you orcs should be completely ashamed of yourselves. Look at that. That is pitiful. This pitiful little palisade gate in the middle of the Arnorian thing. But hang on. Look at that vine carving. I've never seen anything like that. Look at that. It's like ivy or vines. That's quite lovely. And this like fluting here, these... What? Okay, that's not the most attractive view I've ever seen. Okay. If you look really closely, you can see the rear end of my horse. Very good. This is the danger of architectural surveillance on horseback. Interesting. The further in you go, the more completely the walls have been torn down. But see, this is very reminiscent. This looks very Esteldin, doesn't it? Notice the columns, right? And the four arches around the fountain. This looks exactly like Esteldin here. But of course it could work the other way around. Esteldin could have been constructed in the way that it is to recall Fornost of old. Oh, what a defensible position. Then after you get through both of those two gates, you've still got to fight your way all the way up this hill. Man, if you are fighting hand to hand, this is a super steep hill. You'd have a big advantage fighting down this hill. Wow, and then we've got another wall, so we would have had another gate, which has apparently been lost. Then more columns. And then a ramp. Was a mistake to make this ramp out of stone, really. But, man, oh man. Because then, oh yeah, then we get another, like, bridge up here. Boy, if this were made of wood, or if there were a wooden drawbridge in the middle of this, you could then make the inner keep here totally inaccessible, even after they'd fought through the 3 different layers. Wow, yeah, Fornost was pretty impressive. And there's a giant disembodied hand. Whose hand is that? Wasn't there a colossal statue somewhere around here? Oh yeah, there he is. Let me not get this from the vantage point of under my horse's tail this time. Oh yeah, look at that guy. I mean, we knew he was not going to have a hand, but okay, nor a head. Because, of course, is that a sword? Pointing right at me? If so, that's kind of awesome. I think it is. Okay. But, of course, we would expect him to have had his head ripped off, just like the king at the crossroads, right? In Esteldin. That the orcs would have knocked his head off. Okay, and then looking down from up here. Oh, yeah. Look, we got another hill over here with another keep on it. Yeah, this place would have been a nightmare to take. You can see why the Witch King opted for treachery to open the gates from within. Wow. Back through the orcs' pathetic little palisade. All right, let's go talk to Mincham. I have to say, I can't approve of building a bonfire right inside the gate. I mean, not only is it annoying that you have to walk around it, but it would be, I mean, unless they actually mean it for a beacon, you know, that is, they want it to be sort of shining out through the gate and being able to see for a really long distance. Maybe it's how they navigate in the gloom here around the gates of Norbury. Okay, where's that orc walking his warg? Don't want to run into him accidentally again. No, I think we're good. Okay, fine. All right, back down to Mincham. Mincham. Keep pronouncing his name with an N. Accidentally. Back through the blasted and not quite completely, but really not very healthy looking trees of the fields of Fornost. They do have leaves, right? They're not just like skeletal, bleached, dead remains of trees. They do have some green still growing on them. I mean leaves, healthy green, not like, you know, leprous growths that feed on rottenness or anything like that. So that's good, I guess. So the trees have the equivalent of pink eye as well. Excuse me, I mean blood eye. Let's hope we don't see blood eye in any of his infected brood. Okay. I thought my quest arrow here was pointing to Mincham. I was like, why is Mincham off to the left of the path? But no. He's here. I'm going to go up the hill. I'll try to make a lot of noise, Mincham, as I'm coming, because I know you don't see very well, so it'll be hard for you. Here I am. Gallop, gallop, gallop. Hi, Mincham. I'm back. Can you see me yet?
Graze the shadow upon my heart.
I'm truly of stout heart to face such beasts. Are you referring to the orcs as beasts? It's an insult to beasts. You have my gratitude. You're welcome. You only wish you could have done this yourself instead of sending you. Oh, I know, you're all broken up about that. But my time and injury and, frankly, my shortness of sight really prevent me from wielding a sword effectively, let alone drawing a bow. Yeah, dude, with your eyesight, you have no business shooting a bow, Mincham. From what you tell me, Angmar did not merely send a token force to Fornost. Nay, it appears they sent an army. And an army with war wagons, right? Warg-drawn war wagons and spiky siege ramps, okay? I'm telling you, it's grim up there. Fornost has fallen once more to Angmar. It was already kind of fallen. Oh, and I've got two. My goodness, I've got a lot of junk. Yeah, destroy the tough sword sheath. I don't need any of this garbage. Yeah, okay. What I need are quest rewards. That's what I really need.
Will you lend me your ear?
Okay, I'll lend you my ear, but I need it back afterwards. Quick now, you must return to Halbarad and Esteldin, and tell him what I have learned here. Angmar has taken Fornost once more. Okay, I'll tell him again, and hopefully he'll listen this time. From such a fortified spot, Angmar could dominate all the north. Well, yeah. But there are even worse... Angmar kind of already does dominate the north, but that's okay. I know what you mean. But there are even worse things to worry about. Tales tell of a great evil which inhabits the collapsed and ruined halls of Fornost. I've heard 4 wraiths, right? Morgul hilts. I'm all over this. This evil could be called to serve Angmar. Outside chance of it. Go to Esteldin and tell Halbarad all that I have learned here. Yes, sir. I sure will do that. Okay. I'll mount back up. And we'll head back to Esteldin. Okay. Meantime, while I ride back, some announcements. So, as I have mentioned for some sort of Mythgard announcements, as I have mentioned in previously, we are in the middle. We're now coming into the home stretch of the Signum University fundraising campaign. Signum University is sort of the larger school of which houses and sponsors the Mythgard programs, including this one. And, we like to have these programs open to everybody and running year-round. So we've been doing our annual fundraising campaign to help keep the lights on at Signum University and make sure that we're still able to do all of this. We had, you may remember, I had announced a special event that we did a couple weeks back. Many of you came, and some of you have seen the recordings of it afterwards, which we also had here on the stream. The Where's Wigand event, where with my other character, Wigand, I went to various fun and famous places in Middle-earth. I was referring to it in the spirit of the Balrog when we were talking about that a little bit before. At that event, if you weren't there, at that event, we announced a special fundraising sort of mini goal, where for everybody who donated to Signum University, which is, by the way, tax exempt, so all donations to Signum University are tax deductible in America. Everyone who made a fully tax deductible donation to Signum University and dedicated that donation to support the Lotro campaign, we are sort of accumulating those, and if we raise $5,000 specifically dedicated to the Lotro program, then we would do a very special event. And we have just this past week officially crossed that threshold. We have in fact raised $5,000 to support our Lotro program, and we're very excited about this. So now we are officially planning our special event, and the special event that we're planning is a special chicken run, where I am going to do a chicken run from the Shire to Helm's Deep. People are going to take me to Helm's Deep. I'm not going to set the chicken on follow. I'm going to drive the chicken from the Shire all the way down to Helm's Deep. Several people have pledged to assist me in getting from Mickledelving all the way to Theoden at Helm's Deep, and we'll see how that goes. However, we had, following the suggestion of one of our donors, we figured really the ultimate perfect destination to end a chicken run, right, is Amon Hen. obviously. So if we raise $2,000 more, so $7,000 total dedicated to the Locho program, then we'll do the chicken run all the way from Nickel Delving to Amon Hen. So we still have a little over a week to do that. The culmination of our fundraising campaign, our big fall fundraising campaign to boost the annual fund of Signum University, that ends next weekend on Halloween Day. Saturday on Halloween is our culminating day of our campaign, and we have a whole bunch of really exciting events scheduled for that day. That is the day of our annual webathon, when we're going to be doing like 8-10 hours of broadcast on that day. We've got a whole bunch of things planned. We're going to be doing a fun with words in The Hobbit, doing sort of looking at Tolkien's word usage and playing some fun games and doing some riddles with Hobbit, with The Hobbit specifically, and Tolkien's word choice and style in The Hobbit. That's a lot of fun. Then we're going to be I'm also going to be doing a special session, teaching a special class on the Father Christmas letters. If you've never read Tolkien's Father Christmas letters, you totally should. And we'll do a special one-shot open class on the Father Christmas letters. I'm going to do another Lotro session where we're going to be doing a stream where I will be. It will be a sequel to my previous Where's Wigand event, except this time the cool thing is I'm going to be, my character, my Guardian Wigand is going to be taken to places that I've never been before. So I'm going to be seeing in the game for the first time several really fun places, Middle-earth sites I've been looking forward to seeing for a long time, and which I've never actually been to. I've never been to Rohan. I've never been to Isengard. So I'm going to, people are going to kind of take me on a tour and show me a bunch of things. So you can join me as I see these places for the first time. And explore and examine them, and there may be some architectural discussion, who knows, as we're doing that. So I've been cautioned many times not to get too distracted by architecture when I am in the middle of the chicken run. But we'll see. I mean, I think what I keep saying is, how hard can it be to run all the way from Mickle Delving to Helm's Deep or Amon Hen as a chicken? I mean, seriously. I'm kidding. I know many of you are like doing face palming right now, but seriously, it'll be fun. So anyway, so make sure to join us for that. We're going to be starting off at 10 a.m. the webathon on Halloween Day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. So I hope that you guys can join us for that. I hope that you will consider supporting us and donating to support Signum University and the great work that we're trying to do for education there, and of course to support our Mythgard programs so we can keep these things running for another year. Here I am back in How Better Tell Halbarad. I mean, I told you so. That's all I'm just going to tell you. I told you so. War Wagons. I told you so. P.S. War Wagons. That's my message for you, Halbarad. Yes, we must be called together in a council to deal with this threat. Totally agree. Let's make that happen. How do we make that happen? I mean, wow, I'm 100 experience points shy of level 32. Okay. Oh, wow. Lots of parts. Okay. The dwarves of Othrakar. Yeah, we might need them. Let's talk to the dwarves. They're good longbeards. Excellent. Yeah. Right, but they've been serving under the dour hands. Okay, but the Longbeards drove them out. Good for them. Travel and speak with Dory. Dory? Really? If I cannot find Dory for some reason, speak to Hanar. Okay. Dory is up there. Wow, we get to meet Dory. So cool. All right, I will. And
might I take a moment of your time?
To the south of Esteldin, there stands a small refuge of elves. Cool. All right, yeah. Oh dear, they're being attacked by stone trolls. That sounds inconvenient. Gildor Inglorian is there. Wow. Okay, he was coming to give word of the enemy's movements, but arrived too late. So that's where Gildor went after he parted with Frodo. He's here. Okay. All right, I'll call him to the council. Right? Yeah. Well, but we might have to help him out with the stone trolls. Just a guess. Gonna go out on a limb there. Okay. And who else? The men. Who is? Right. The people of Trestlebridge have perhaps suffered most. Yeah. I mean, they got blown up. I mean, did you hear about the black boom powder down there? I mean, it was pretty grim. Fortunately, Aggie Digweed is still standing vigilantly on the near side of the trestle span, but near to her, far to us right now. Anyway, sorry. Their numbers are dwindling and being blown up. Absolutely, and they're putting each other in the stocks, or excuse me, in the pillory. They think they're putting themselves in the stocks, but they're putting each other in the pillory instead. In fact, the mayor of the town, Lovell Boskins, was recently slain. Oh dear. And his daughter, Nellie Boskins. Oh, that sounds quaint, doesn't it? I would ask me to go to Trestlebridge and speak with Nellie. Okay, right, we'll do that. Her people have the most to gain. Nellie will be the hardest to convince. Oh dear. The constant attacks will block all thoughts of anything but dealing with the immediate threat. What, too afraid of being blown up nightly to come to a council? Okay, all right. Well, thank you, Halbarad. We will totally work on that. But I think we will have to wait until next week to start working on that. That seems like a perfectly fine place to end. So don't forget, the webathon is next Saturday, so on Halloween Day, starting at 10 a.m., and I'll have a more detailed schedule for you guys next time. But also, do consider supporting our fundraising campaign. And if you again, if we raise $2,000 more, then we will do the chicken run all the way. I'll do the chicken run all the way from the Shire to Amon. So I hope that you can help support this noble effort. I will announce, of course, when the actual chicken run is going to happen. We're gonna stream that as well, so you can enjoy the chicken run. Many of you, I hope, will consider actually assisting with the chicken run as well, so that you can, because I suspect I'm going to need a little protection. So that would be great. Anyway, we'll get all this stuff together. That'll probably happen sometime in November, maybe early December, but somewhere around there is when we're going to do the chicken run. We're going to have to lay some plans to plan out the chicken run, but. Well, thank you, everybody. I appreciate your coming along with me again today. Really fun sort of tracing the history of Arthedain in architecture here today. Didn't do much combat, but we did get to see some fun orc siege weaponry, so that was a rewarding experience as well. Next time, we'll head... I think I'm going to go see Gildor Inglorian first, because Gildor Inglorian, right? I mean, Dory is also cool, but Gildor Inglorian is even cooler. So I think we're going to go find Gildor and see if we can help. But plus, they had the most urgent sounding problem, right? They've got a stone troll issue, so we should probably go help them with their stone troll issues, because they obviously need a solo hobbit to come and deliver them from their stone troll problems. So we'll see if we can be of some small assistance to Gildor and his friends down in the south next time, and maybe we'll get so far as Dory after that. So that's what's on the docket for next time. But I will say thanks for joining us, everybody, and I will see you next week at the same time. Bye now.